Hello everybody, thank you very much for joining this session. My name is Hester O Connor, I'm a clinical psychologist. And at this time, while we're all struggling with how managing as best we can with the unprecedented situation we find with the coronavirus, here are some tips that I would like to share with you that I hope you'll find useful. The key things that I'm going to talk about are how normal it is for us to worry and how important it is for us to stay connected with one another despite observing social distancing. So staying connected through social media because of the importance of our connections with one another, and keeping to routine and creating a new routine if we need one, because we will get through this, but there are certain things that I think will help us through it. Self-compassion is the urgent need of our time. We tend to be quite tough on ourselves, and we often expect ourselves to be able to manage everything despite feeling very wobbly ourselves. And we all feel more fearful at the moment. So we need to learn to be really gentle and kind with ourselves, and that will really help us. And the work of Paul Gilbert on self-compassion is really important. And I'm going to very quickly take you through this slide. The first thing is that we have built within us, through our evolution, a threat system, a system within us that helps us to feel fear. We really need to have this. If we didn't have the capacity to feel fear, we wouldn't be observing social distance. We wouldn't be doing the hand washing that we need to do at the moment. So it's a really important and really necessary for us. The thing is, we sometimes are too fearful, and that if we're so fearful, it gets in the way of being able to think and make good decisions. The next system we have is our drive system, which for all of us has helped us to get to where we did in life today. And that's a really important thing as well, that we're able and have built within us the capacity to make plans and have goals and to be able to see them through. But the system that I really want to focus on is our safe, contented system. And that's our soothing system. It's really important that we connect with that part of ourselves more at this time than at any other time. We need to be able to put things in perspective and be really gentle and kind with ourselves. The best way I have of describing what that safe and kind and soothing system, which is inbuilt in us, that we need, is that the image of a mother or a father holding an infant. In order to soothe the infant and maybe help the infant to sleep, the parent needs to have a nice tone of voice and be really gentle and relaxed. And that's what we need more of in terms of how we are towards ourselves at the moment. Why is self-compassion so important? It helps us to focus on our similarities and shared humanity with others who also struggle as we do. We're all in this together. We're going to get through this difficult time together. And if we're able to acknowledge and say how we're feeling, it helps others to say how they're feeling towards us. And we have that shared sense of humanity. We can ask for help. It's one of the most important things in protecting our mental health and in building our resilience. Tara Brach, a Buddhist and psychotherapist, says that the trouble we have now is that is really all inside our own minds, because we have turned threat in on ourselves. And a very good example of this is the overuse of social media, where we feel we need to be comparing ourselves with other people. And that puts a lot of pressure on us. And many of us wake up in the middle of the night worrying about things we have to do or things we shouldn't have done or whatever. It's going to be really important that we're really gentle when we notice this part of ourselves. And here's what Tara Brach suggests. She calls it the rain of self-compassion. So we recognize our thoughts, we recognize what's bothering us and what's troubling us in our minds. We don't push it away, we allow it to be there. We investigate it with kindness. So we might, for example, say, oh, I'm noticing that I'm getting really panicked. Or I'm noticing that I can't stop looking and checking my phone at the moment. Or I'm worrying about things way into the future. So bring kindness to what we notice that's going on for us. And then the important step is that we don't identify with it. That if we can say, these are my thoughts, I am not my thoughts are not facts. We tend to identify with what we feel, and we identify with our thoughts, and we give them meaning, and therefore they grow and can become overwhelming in the sense of how much we might worry or get panicked. So if we can instead notice, not push things away, but really noticing my thoughts are not all of me. They're just a tiny part. My thoughts are like clouds passing overhead. My thoughts are not facts. It's extremely important that at this moment that we're observing social distancing for good evidence-based health reasons. But we need to stay connected with one another, because our need to belong is our strongest human need. So we can do this in lots of ways, through social media, WhatsApp, Skype, FaceTime, there's lots of ways. And also listening to nice factual programs can keep us, and there's lots of phone-in programs where people can feel that they have a sense of belonging and connection. It's going to be really important that we stay connected, because it's when we isolate ourselves, we're more inclined to the things that worry us to grow and grow. So the more we're reaching out through this social media this time, the better. So we really encourage us all to do that. So some self-care tips. Stick to routine, as it gives a great sense of normality. Get up at the same time, going to bed at the same time. We maybe find ourselves over the next while needing to change routines, but we can adopt new ones, and that will help us to get through. So if, for example, somebody in the house is self-isolating, routines will need to change. And so we get up at the same time, have a time for exercise, have a time for preparing food, have a time for watching television or listening to programs or listening to music, and going to bed at a good time, because many of us are sleep deprived. So having a good night's sleep is one of the most helpful things for us in helping us to rebalance and get perspective on our situation. And the next thing is spending time in nature and taking exercise. Nature is so good for us, and taking exercise is really helpful for our mental and physical well-being. So if we can do that, it'll really help. If we really are confined indoors, listening to nice music, but looking at nice images on the internet will be helpful, like images of nature because it's so helpful in calming our nervous system. Staying connected to others through our social media is really very important and will be probably one of the most important things that we can do for ourselves and for each other over this time of extra worry and concern. So using all of our social media while we're observing, not going out, having meals and meeting up and things like that. That is hard, but now we're in the best time in terms of all of the channels that are available to us for staying connected with one another. It's so important for us to have kindness to ourselves and to treat ourselves gently and really letting ourselves off the hook and not being harsh on ourselves. We all do our best. And if we're able to take it easy and be kind to ourselves, we're going to find it easier to be kind and gentle with other people as well. And we need that. So the more of that that's out there at the moment, the better. So for the next 3 or 4 minutes, I'm going to finish this session with a heartfulness relaxation. And the reason we connect with the heart is because the source of love is within all of our hearts. We all think of, when we think of love, we think of it as being associated with our heart. So the more that we're able to connect with our heart and be connected with each other through the heart, the more we'll feel that deep sense of connection with one another, and that will be really helpful for us. Also, when we're meditating and we're breathing into the tummy, it's really, really helpful for us because it's helping to relax our whole nervous system, and that helps to soothe us and to calm us. So taking a few moments now, making yourself comfortable, and I'll walk you through the heartfulness relaxation by doing it myself. And if you're comfortable, closing your eyes, bringing your attention to the breath, breathing in, breathing out, letting the breath settle itself. And if your 2 feet are on the floor, allowing the energy of the earth to support your feet and to support your whole body. Allowing that energy of the earth to move up through the ankles, calves, knees, up to the hip joints. Allowing the whole of the legs to relax and let go. Moving your attention to the back, lower, middle and upper back. Allowing all of the back to relax and let go. Bringing your attention to the front of the body, imagining that every organ housed in the front of the body is relaxing and letting go. Moving your attention to the shoulders, letting your shoulders melt away. Bringing your attention to the upper arms, down through the elbows, lower arms, hands and fingertips. Allowing the whole of the hands and the arms to relax and let go. Moving your attention to the neck, right up through the back of the head and down through the forehead and the face. Allowing the eyes to be soft and relaxed and the jaw to be relaxed. Allowing the whole of the neck, head and face to relax and let go. And now imagining that a shower of peace is washing through you from the top of your head through the soles of your feet. Every cell in your body is bathing in a shower of peace. And now moving your attention to the upper left side of the chest, into the heart area, and connecting with the source of love that is within your own heart. And allowing yourself to be drawn inwards towards this source of love. And before we open our eyes, as we go about the rest of our day, doing our best to connect with the heart and keeping that connection, softening towards ourselves and keeping that soft connection with each other as well. And now we can open our eyes. Thank you so much for joining, and bye for now. All the best.